In Dallas last week, Cowboys great Drew Pearson got caught up in the Super Bowl excitement, helping deliver the Vince Lombardi trophy to the Dallas Convention Center. During the ceremony, the trophy nearly fell when the escalator Pearson was on made a sudden stop. But thankfully, the former Cowboys wide receiver saved the day. The Lombardi trophy is on display at the NFL Experience until Super Bowl Sunday. And John Lombardi is Vince Lombardi's grandson, the vice president and general manager of Wagner Mechanical Plumbing and Heating right here in Albuquerque. So we've got a star, our own special star here in Albuquerque. And we appreciate you joining us.
So.
Yes, it's great to have you here. I mean, your name is famous worldwide.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, he's well known, especially in the football circles.
Absolutely. Okay, so Van and I have been talking about the Super Bowl. I can only imagine, is Super Bowl a huge deal in your house?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, I kind of like to watch the game, by myself because, I want to pay attention.
Right, you have 3 daughters, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the oldest is 10, 8 and 6, and a 3-year-old son.
Yeah.
But when you get in a party or, go over to someone's house and people are cheering and you got fans on either side, it pulls away from me. Last year I went down because my brother works for the Saints.
That's
we
right.
went to the game. And,
yes, I wanted to talk about that. That's a big deal. So he's the quarterback coach of the Saints?
Yes.
So what was that like last year for the win?
It was very exciting, obviously fulfilling for him. It was almost a relief because there's such a build-up. I would not have wanted to be around the hotel or him or any of that stuff had they lost.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's got to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Van a minute ago, I think I went to bed about 5:30 after the game, 5:30 in the morning. They had a big party in the hotel, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, so you really come from a family of football, and you, of course, you did some of your own recruiting, didn't you?
In my 20s, I worked in the NFL, did some college coaching until I got married and decided I needed to be home every night.
Yes, well, family sometimes comes first, doesn't it?
Family always comes first.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
It should. Unfortunately, sometimes we make work and becomes priority, but ultimately family first, and your family really did set the bar quite high.
Yes.
And I mean, Van, you are dealing with sports every single day of your life. I mean, when you come across people like John, who comes from a family of a name like such, I mean, isn't that exciting for you?
Yeah, and John is real mellow with it, because me and John were talking. I was asking him about all the different things that happens with him because of his name. His name's on the trophy for the Super Bowl, and John was just like, yeah. You can tell he's just used to it. John was just like, almost like, what do you want me to do?
Well, I guess my throwaway answer, it's an accident of birth. I really had nothing to do with it. I've been living with it as long as I can remember.
Sure.
I said to Van, I go, if they decided to name it the Vince Lombardi Trophy, last year, I probably would have thought it was a bigger deal. But as long as I have known, that's what it's been called, and it's almost accepted.
It's your whole life. I mean, that's what you know. Yeah, right. So that's what a lot of celebrities say, though, when you ask them what it's like being a celebrity child or parents that are celebrities. They say, well, that's all I know. No. So, I mean, okay, but let's talk back to the first Super Bowl.
Okay.
Going back there, I mean, it wasn't like this, was it? It wasn't a big deal. No sellouts or anything.
No, it wasn't sold out. We were talking, last year, I'm sitting there at this the Saints party, and Kenny Chesney's playing, Better Than Ezra. They've got all these, kind of people with connections to the Saints in one way or another. It's going till 4, 5, 6 in the morning. I mean, every player and coach has their own table. And I looked at my dad, who was there at the first one. I'm like, what was it like, after the first game? He's like, he goes, we were scheduled to fly home.
Right after the game?
Yeah, they got on the buses. They were going to fly home, and like they normally do. They got fogged in, so they ended up having to stay overnight. But nothing was planned. There was no big deal. So it really has changed.
It has come a long way. Yeah. And it's a full day. I mean, it is a full day of festivity, starting 4 hours really before the game. That's when pregame starts, and then it continues on through the night. Do you have a pick? Van and I are kind of leaning toward the Steelers.
I heard you say, this is a very, usually people don't care. So, a lot of people don't care unless they're a fan. I think people are pulling for one side or the other. Yeah. These are two glory franchises in NFL history. I could see it going both ways. I mean, if the Packers have, if their 3 playoff games are an indication, they could have a blowout. I think like they did against the Falcons. They're that good.
Yeah.
They've had 2 close games where they've had interceptions down the stretch. And like Van said, I don't see Roethlisberger doing that. I think if the game is close, he's going to make a play, and it won't be a negative one.
Yeah, I'm leaning on that side, too. I think you're right. And we're so honored to have you with us. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. And, of course, Van, thank you again for joining us today. And don't forget to watch the Super Bowl like you have to be told right here on 2 Casa Fox. All the fun begins at noon, and the game starts at 4. We're back with microwave chicken after the break. How do you like that? Yeah.